You seem to have activated my trap card. Alright guys, there's a Bats here, and today wanted to go ahead and bring you a little something that's exactly the same as everything else everybody's doing today. Alright, so as you guys know, the Wave of Light structure deck has been released as of this Friday, and I decided to go ahead and go out and pick up a few, and I wanted to go ahead and make a budget version of the Counter Fairy deck, and I just thought, you know what, I don't even know what sort of extra deck monsters to put in here, so I just picked up 3 of the structure decks and wanted to see what I could do with it. So without further ado, this is the Wave of Light structure deck profile. So 3 copies of Minerva, Scholar of the Sky. She's a light fairy monster, and her effect is each time a counter trap card is activated, immediately after it resolves, this card gains 500 attack points. So it's going to be kind of your big beater. So you probably only play 1 or 2 of them in a main style build, but I think for the budget one, this is a very strong card. Speaking of strong cards, we have 2 copies of Archlord Christia, and then 2 copies of the new Sacred Arch Air Knight Parastaff. And Christia, as you know, as long as you got 4 fairies in the graveyard, you can just go ahead and whip this bad boy out, and then nobody can special summon, so that's amazing. The Sacred Arch Knight is a little more powerful, and then it's a Piercer, and then when it inflicts battle damage, you add another Parashaft card. I didn't focus too hard on the Parashafts. I do like having the big beater though, so running this as a 2 of right now. Yeah, 3 copies of Honest. We don't have a lot of muscle in the deck. This makes up for the muscle. I added 1 Power Angel Valkyria. I don't really like its effect, just because you have to hit something. You're gonna search anyway. I usually search Honest with it. It seems like it's alright. So I'm only playing at 1 for now. I might retweak the balances, bring it up to 2, who knows. It'll require more testing though. And of course we get to the staples. 3 Meltiel, Sage of the Sky, that's a staple. 3 Guiding Ariande. This one's definitely a staple. It actually works really well in Draco Pals too, if you're looking for a counter Draco Pal deck. And then of course, the one that started it all, 3 Bountiful Artemis. So these are your searchers. They protect things, they protect your life points, and they help you get back resources to continue. So these 3 are your bread and butter targets for the Ties of the Brethren. You want Bountiful, Guiding, and Metel usually, depending on what you're doing. There's certain situations you're gonna want Minerva too, so it just depends. But that's it for the monsters. Just something really brief, really simple. Now for the spells are even more simple. You have 3 copies of the original Sanctuary in the Sky, the field spell. This one prevents battle damage from any battles that involve fairy monsters. And then the new one, the Sanctum of Parashath, this one's actually really cool. So it acts like Sanctuary in the Sky to start off, which is very, very important. Another important thing it does is it increases the attack points of your fairy type monsters by 300 apiece. It also protects your back row cards, so your counter traps that would normally get twin twistered before you can activate them, boom, this protects them from destruction and targeting, which is awesome. And then cool thing about it is you can target 3 fairy monsters or counter traps with different names in your graveyard, pop them back into your deck in any order on top of the deck. So it also recycles, keeps you in power. 2 copies of Valhalla, just to go ahead and get your board started, just in case you draw a lot of big monsters. 3 Ties of the Brethren, this also gets the combo started, gets some of your monsters on the board, and gets you some searches for counter traps. Speaking of counter traps, 2 copies of Rebirth of Parashath. That's how you're going to get ahead and get the big boss monster on the board there. So this one's got kind of a hefty cost to it. You got to pay life points and discard a card, which is completely irrelevant if you have Guiding Ariande on the field in the Pendulum Zone. So you can actually get a big beater for free. 3 copies of Divine Punishment. It's like an evolved version of Divine Wrath over here. So it's basically when any effect is activated, monster, spell, or trap, while Sanctuary on the Sky is on the field, you just negate it and then destroy it, which is a pretty cool deal. And then 3 copies of Ultimate Providence. This is the second best thing to Solemn Strike. The first best thing obviously being Solemn Warning, but this is this next best thing to Solemn Strike, I'd say. You discard a card of any type and then you negate the activation or of any card effect. So if it's a monster, spell, or trap, you negate it and destroy it after you discard the same type of card. Cool part about it is, Ariande, you don't have to ditch a card. You just go ahead and play it. 2 copies of Drastic Drop-Off. I think this one's a great one to recycle. Really kills your opponent's hand advantage and kills their draws early. I think. So it's a pretty cool little card. You could probably play it in 3 in a deck like this, but I like playing it in 2. And of course, 1 copy of Solemn Warning. You're only allowed 1 copy of Solemn Warning, so you may as well play it. Alright guys, well that's it for the deck profile. There isn't much to it. I like the ratios I'm doing with this. It's pretty basic. I wouldn't change too much in a big profile. I'd probably just toss in more pendulums personally, just because, you know, I'm a pendulum sort of player, so I play pendulum fairies. And then I'd probably toss in some strikes in addition to a couple things, cut down the drastic drop-offs, change out the boss monsters a little bit, and just play from there. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think of the deck profile. Try it out. Go ahead and come back here and tell me, yeah, that was an awesome way to spend $30, or alternately like, oh, I just tried this on Dan and it was garbage. You wasted $30. Don't really care which. I just want to hear. But definitely like, comment, and subscribe, and then I'll show you what the box looks like another day. All right, Ace of Bats signing out. Thanks again.